Today, you're going to hear directly from our grantees and from our partners at Youth Inc. We feel that we have begun to solve some of the field's greatest challenges related to evaluation capacity, building, and data use. At the same time, we know we still have a lot of work to do. We want to invite you to join our learning community and begin to learn with us.
My name is Fairly-Hendrix. I'm the Director of Programs and Community Partnerships at Free Arts NYC. We are an arts-based nonprofit that provides visual arts-based mentoring for underserved youth and families throughout New York City in order to help them build resilience and thrive. And I wanted to talk today about ways in which we were changed by the process of participating in all these conversations and these meetings with our cohort. It was actually really significant for us and really inspiring, the learning conversations and the research, and also we're all lovers of evaluation at Free Arts. And I participated with 2 other program managers, and we actually took all of that learning back to our organization and inspired the rest of our staff, about 11 people in programming and volunteering, to spend the last 9 months reinventing our staff trainings and our volunteer trainings. And so we actually came out with a new manual and much more focused vocabulary, and also I think sort of concepts for how to teach the practices linked to some of the results that you'll see today. And we're hugely changed, so I actually want to thank all of you guys for that support and inspiration.
I'm Geeta, and I work for South Asian Youth Action as SAYA. And the reason that we became a part of it was we had seen that what we are doing was not in alignment with what we were measuring. So just to bring those 2 concepts closer and using data to figure out, what can we do better and how can we measure what really matters to us was something that we gained out of this cohort. And now it's the fact that we are using the data to actually restructure our program design and also do a lot of staff development. So that's been a major benefit of being part of this cohort.
I'm Chris Hanway. I'm the Executive Director of Jacob A. Reese Neighborhood Settlement House. We serve over 1,100 children and youth each year in summer camps and after-school programs at 7 sites in Long Island City and Astoria. I've been asked to talk about our organizational mindset shift that came about as a result of being part of this program. There are many, many things I could talk about. I just picked 3 to quickly mention. One is that evaluation is a shared initiative. In devising, executing, and interpreting evaluations, there are roles to play for not just evaluators, but also organizational leadership, staff at all levels, as well, and this is key, as youth, as well as youth and their families. Evaluation is not only about finding out what's not working, which I think is a fear of many of us and our youth staff, but also about discovering, refining, and sharing what is working. It can really be a positive, affirming process. And third, at resettlement, getting into the evaluation groove was a cultural shift. And such a shift is never going to happen overnight, and that's okay. It's not an all or nothing proposition. This is an incremental proposition that's going to happen as we move forward through time. So thanks.
In an organization and a youth department such as ours, when you have small contracts, DYCD, DOE, we had all this information, but there wasn't things to pull across that spoke across the whole youth department. They were more specific to that contract, to that database. And then once the contract is over, it goes back to the funders. So we were looking, that was one challenge we had in terms of looking for something that we could measure across the youth department. And we had something already in place, but as Anne alluded to in her speeches about that, it was only just, we didn't have the staff to do it, to be able to analyze and give staff more immediate results. So we had one point in time, we collected surveys or from parents, participants, and staff, but then we had to enter all that data and then we had to analyze it, and there wasn't anybody on staff that we could hire that had the expertise to do it. So coming into being a part of this cohort, we were really able to learn about iLearning, and that we said this system captures what we don't see in terms of the databases we already had that can speak across the youth department, as well as give staff more immediate feedback, as well as help staff plan when they look at this data, what are we going to do for next year? How are we going to plan out this year, given the data that we have? So And we're going to be going into our second year, and we've made a decision. Our first year was to look at the SAC-regulated sites, our DYCD, OST middle schools. And then this second year, we made the decision to go across the department for our middle and high schools. So that's what we're going to be this year.
We're small, and so we have several sites, but we don't have a lot of managerial staff to sit and crunch data. Our first experience with evaluation 10 years ago, we had about 12 boxes of data, paper, that we had to manually enter and then figure out how to analyze it. And what is really important about this is that we have the data, you can do it online, you get the information and feedback, and we can immediately apply some solutions to what we are finding, and the managers and program coordinators can look at program content and design, as well as our educational advisor can observe what she's seeing in the data about staff development and apply solutions to staff development that will ensure that we have high quality programs. So thank you very much.
Hi everybody, I'm Steve Goodman, the Executive Director of the Educational Video Center, and we teach youth to make documentaries on critical issues in their lives and present them to the public. And through the process they develop a range of skills, youth leadership, literacy, civic engagement, career skills, technology skills. And for us it's been a challenge. We always have known how to tell that story anecdotally and qualitatively. And we could say Stephen and Raelene back there are graduates of the program, and they're doing great work, and they're able to apply what they're doing. But for us it's been a challenge to provide quantitative data and really focus on the skills to tell that story to funders and others. And so being part of the community and the cohort that Kim and Ann have helped us to participate in enabled us to develop logic models to really clarify what our outcomes are, and to talk about what really matters, what counts as success in those skills that they're developing. And not only to collect the data, but to actually talk about the data and what counts and really make sense of that data. And so for us it was the community that they were creating, a culture of assessment not only at EVC with our staff and board, but across the organization. So it's not something you do by yourself or you just look at numbers, but it's the sense you make, the meaning you make of those numbers, and that you do it collaboratively, and it's through that process. So when we're going to talk later, it's about building a community of assessment across peers, and those kinds of conversations which are so important to have and which should be ongoing. Thank you.